हेलो एवरीवन। पिछले सेशन में हमने लीग ऑफ नेशंस के बारे में देखा और हमने जाना कि कैसे लीग ऑफ नेशंस एक ब्लूप्रिंट बना यूनाइटेड नेशंस की क्रिएशन के लिए। तो आज हम डिटेल में बात करने वाले हैं यूनाइटेड नेशंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की। ये जानने वाले हैं कि वास्तव में यूनाइटेड नेशन है क्या और आखिर ये किस तरह काम करता है। सो लेट अस स्टार्ट विद अ मैसिव क्वेश्चन, maybe the most important one of the last century. How do you stop a third war from ever happening? Something I asked you about in last session on League of Nations. After the single most destructive war we had ever seen, the entire world was desperate for an answer. And that answer came in 1945. Literally, out of the ashes of the world in flames, 51 countries decided to come together. They had one single driving goal. This wasn't just about setting up another committee. This was about designing a brand new blueprint for peace. A truly radical idea for its time, as we discussed earlier. So what is the core mission behind it? Well, it really boils down to three main pillars. First, keep the peace. Second, protect human rights. And third one, get countries to actually work together on the huge problems that no single nation could ever solve on its own. It meant to be the planet's main stage for sorting things out. समस्याएं सुलझाने का ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म। पर कभी आपने सोचा है यूनाइटेड नेशंस इतना ग्रो कैसे कर सका, वो भी लीग ऑफ नेशंस की फेलियर के बाद? चलिए देखते हैं, आगे बढ़ते हैं। From those original 51 founders, the United Nations has ballooned to 193 members we have today. Almost विश्व के सभी देश, which makes it by far the most representative global body we have ever had. But with 193 members all in one room, you could imagine things get a little complicated. Actually, decisions कैसे लिए जाते होंगे, मतलब कि मेन कंट्रोल किसके हाथ में रहता होगा, मनी और पावर? Let us see. So at the very heart of the United Nations, you have got this fascinating power dynamic. On one side, there is a General Assembly. You can think of it like a global town hall, where every country, big or small, gets one vote. But the real hard power, that lies with the Security Council, which is focused on peace and security. And it plays by a very different set of rules. And this is the part you absolutely have to understand. The Security Council has 5 permanent members, the P5, we all know. द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध के 5 मुख्य विजेता. And they hold the ultimate trump card, the veto power. A single no vote from any one of them can stop any resolution. And this has been used time and again to block action in conflicts. From the Cold War all the way to modern crisis. Now, of course, the United Nations is a big, powerful system. Beyond General Assembly and Security Council, you have got the International Court of Justice, kind of like the World Court for settling legal fights between countries. And then there's Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, that tackles everything from the environmental development. And the whole thing is run by the Secretariat, which is basically the United Nations international staff doing the day-to-day work. The real story of the United Nations is not just about what happens in those big meeting rooms in New York. इसका actual impact पूरे विश्व में महसूस किया जाता है, इस हद तक कि आप सोच भी नहीं सकते. In fact, you are already familiar with a lot of the United Nations system. You just might not realize it. Like you know about World Health Organization, the WHO, they lead the charge against global pandemics. Or UNICEF, providing aid to kids in crisis zones, or UNESCO, which protect World Heritage Sites. ये सब यूनाइटेड नेशन की स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसीज हैं, doing incredibly important work on the ground every single day. The sheer scope of its work is just immense. जरा सोचिए about deploying those iconic blue helmet peacekeepers to war-affected regions, or about coordinating massive humanitarian aid efforts when disaster strikes, or driving the creation of international laws on everything from human rights to climate change. मगर फिर भी पूरे विश्व में रीच होने के बावजूद और इतने अच्छे उद्देश्यों के साथ काम करने के बाद भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस उठते हैं. Is the UN actually a flawed system? Can an organization like this really save the world? It is the one question that hangs over every single conversation about the United Nations. You look at the state of the world today and you have to ask, is it actually effective? Does it work? Well, to get a fair answer, हमें सिक्के के दोनों पहलुओं को देखना होगा. On the one hand, it is still the most important place on the planet for countries to talk instead of fight. It is a vital symbol of cooperation. मगर criticism से कौन बच सका है? That veto power held by just 5 nations feels undemocratic to many. Decisions can be painfully slow, and a lot of people argue it is an old institution that is in desperate need of an update for the modern world. And that call for reform. It is not just talk, it is getting really loud. You have major global powers like India now. India founding member भी था. India आज permanent seat actively demand कर रहा है. We are arguing that the Security Council needs to reflect the world as it is today, not as it was back in 1945, and many such valid arguments. But you know, when you strip it all away, despite all the politics and all the criticism, the United Nations core purpose is still there, intact. It stands as a symbol of hope, a reminder of our collective duty to at least try to build a more peaceful and just world, even when that work feels impossible. So, here is what I want to leave you with. So, the real question is not whether the UN was a good idea back in 1945. The question is, how does this grand, flawed, but essential experiment in peace have to evolve to meet the challenges of right now? Just tell me, have you recently heard of Gaza Board of Peace? A board which is being created to resolve the issue between Israel and Palestine? People see Donald Trump's Gaza Board of Peace as a potential rival or replacement for the United Nations, because its charter, initially for Gaza reconstruction, has expanded to a broad permanent global mandate, challenging established international institutions, especially since it's led by Trump and funded by nations paying for permanent seats in United Nations, leading critics to view it as a US-centric alternative that bypasses the United Nations role in global governance. What do you think? Just think over until we meet in the next session on NATO. Thank you so much. Good day.